specifically.
Oh my god, my editing style has not changed. Nor has my speech pattern. I'm still terrible. Hello everybody, my name is Kelsey and we're about to get very, very nerdy. Looking at one of my first videos. So I've seen a lot of people reacting to old videos, like some of their very first videos recently, and I refused to watch my very first video, which is the newbie tag. I recorded it on my computer, so the video quality is terrible, and I really don't like it. I was so weird. So I don't want to watch that one again, but I am curious about my very first book haul on this channel, because it was like 4 or 5 videos in, maybe. It was really early on, and I thought it might be fun to see what I picked up and what I still own, because I have some theories. The first thing is I'm pretty sure I don't own any of those books anymore. If I do, it'll be like 1 or 2, maybe. I went through a big unhaul in like the last couple of years where I was getting married, and then I was moving into the apartment my husband had, and then we were moving from that apartment into our first home, and so like throughout those like multiple moves, I would get rid of books that I just have had forever and I just didn't want anymore. So I don't have a lot of the earlier books anymore. The second one is I don't think I will have read any. Maybe one. I might have read one. But I'm really good at buying books and then not reading said books that I have bought until like multiple years later. So I don't think that I will have read a lot of these. But we'll see. I'm curious to see what little baby Kelsey did. So I've got it pulled up on my husband's phone. So let's just get to viewing. Aw, I only had one bookshelf in this one. Oh my goodness. That bookshelf has just like been through a lot. But it was my very first one and I've kept it. And like, yeah. Anyway, let's get to viewing, shall we? Oh, I loved that shirt. I'm really bitter that shirt doesn't fit me anymore. Oh.
Books that I bought this month.
What was this?
I've discovered things about myself. I have months where I'm really, really good and I buy like 2 books. It's great and I feel very productive and I save money. And then there are months where I don't and I buy lots of books. And January was just one of those months. So yes,
that's still true.
I bought 14 this month. Yay! I have a problem. Let's get going. So the first and only book that I bought at Barnes & Noble is The Breath of Snow and Ashes by Diana Gabaldon.
Okay, so that's the 6th. That's the 6th and the Outlander series. I still have all of those books, so there's the one that I've kept. I haven't read it though, because I just read the first one, Outlander, for the first time in March. That sounds right. But I still own that one. I haven't read it, but we're 1 for 1. Should I keep tally of this? No, I'm lazy.
I'm trying to get all of them before I start, because I know I'm going to get really into the series and I want to own as many as I can before I start reading. I'm excited. The next few books I got at my first visit to Goodwill, and the first one I got was Where We Belong by Emily Giffin. From what
yeah, I don't own that one anymore. Like that's one of those ones that I bought and then instantly almost was like, why did I do this to myself? I remember the main character was a producer, although she was a different kind of producer than I was, but she was a producer, and so I was like, oh my gosh, I can relate. And then the more I looked at it, the more I was like, I don't really care. It was one of those things where like I kept looking at it in Goodwill and I was like, sure, it's like 50 cents, why not? And then I just never touched it. So it has been unhauled. It is gone now.
The first thing that took my attention with this book was within the first line. It tells you that she's a television producer, and I'm a news producer myself, and I'm getting really strong Once Upon a Time vibes from this. I really like that show, and I don't know what it was. I just thought, why not? The next book I picked up is Stolen by...
Hey, I still have that one. It's down here somewhere. What did I do with it? I don't know where I put it, but I definitely still have that one. Or at least I thought I did. Did I get rid of it in like the last couple months? It might be downstairs. I still have it. I think it might be downstairs. I take books downstairs that like I haven't read in a while and I'm not sure I'm interested in anymore. And then like I let them hang out, and if I have thought about them again, then they'll come back up. But most times they just get on hold. So that one hasn't been on hold yet, but I think it will be. It's like Beauty and the Beast kind of, but like in modern day, and she gets captured and falls in love with her captor, which like is a weird situation. But like I love it in Beauty and the Beast because it's a Disney movie and I love Disney movies, but like in real life that's creepy. So I don't know what to think. I still haven't gotten rid of it. I still have it. So if you guys have read this book, Stolen by Lucy Christopher, I think, and you've read it, let me know if it's good or not and if I should give it a chance, because I'll gladly bring it back up and actually try it out sometime. But right now it's in that limbo stage of, am I really interested in it? I'm not sure.
This is one of those books that you look at and you're like, that's kind of interesting, and then you put it down, and then you walk away, and you come back, and you stare at it again, and you walk over and you look at it, and then you put it back because you really don't need it, and then you walk away, and then you turn around, and you look back. Please, get to me, so you get it. That was this book for me.
I'm so weird.
A girl named Gemma who gets abducted, and her abductor is trying.
You literally just saw like inside my head. That's what my brain does. You're welcome.
Well, the next book I got is Cabin and Hall by Barbara Taylor Brad.
Yeah, that I don't own anymore. I got it because it reminded me of Downton Abbey. Because it's that whole like upstairs versus downstairs situation in a big house in like the UK somewhere. But I didn't read it. And even when I bought it, I was still iffy on it. So that one's gone as well. I tell you, anything historical that like people say looks or sounds like Downton Abbey, I'm like there for. Ooh, I have a problem.
The next two books I have in this haul are from a small bookstore that my roommate and I found. So the next book I got is Stars of Fortune by Nora Roberts. It's the first.
I still own that one. I've got like 6 or 7. 7? 7. I've got 2 completed series by Nora Roberts, and I've read like maybe a short story by her. But I accidentally bought the 3rd in the series at Barnes & Noble with my parents when it was like buy 1, get 2 free or something. Like they had one of those BOGO sales, and so my parents and I, we each got a book, and this looked amazing, and it was set historically, and it looked like it had magic in it, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes. And then I realized it was the 3rd in the series, so I needed to get the other 2 before I even read this one. And I think Stars of Fortune is the first one. That sounds right. Still haven't read it, but I do still own that one. Interesting. I kept more than I thought I did.
So the next book I have is The Queen of Cheerling by Erica Johannesson.
Yes! Okay, so I do have that one as well, and I'm planning on reading that whenever Ashley from Frolic Through Fiction has talked about doing a read-along of that series, and I've got all 3 of them. But I bought this one because it was a fantasy, and the main character's name is Kelsey. And I'm still holding on to it because, like, I still want to know what it's about. Like, I want to know what it's about. So, that's a series that, like, I want to get to, but I'm in no rush because I want to do it when she does the readathon, because she's talked about doing it, like, in September sometime, like, doing a book a month or something like that. So, I don't know if she will do it this year or next year, or if she still wants to do it, but I'm hoping she does, because I would like to read that book, but I want to read it with people.
The princess's name is Kelsey. I can live through that and pretend that this person in this book is me, and I'm going to own that. The next 2 I got at Target. The next book is the only one that I purchased full price, and that is 1984 by George Orwell.
I still have that one, but that's because I bought that one because I read it in high school and very much enjoyed it, and I wanted my own copy, but I wanted the copy to look identical to the one that I got, or that I read in high school, and so that's what this little itty-bitty white one is. So, like, I want to reread that at some point because I don't remember a lot from it, but that one was purely for, like, collector purposes, because I wanted that book because I liked it so much. The eye on the front's real creepy, though.
The next book I got at Target is one that I'm super excited about because I am never with it.
I know exactly what this is.
I got 2 books this month that were released
I haven't
this
read
month,
it.
and I'm so excited about it. And the first one is Everless by Sarah Holland.
Yeah, I still haven't read that book. It sounded so good when it first came out, and I still own it because, like, I still want to read it and see what it's about, but it's one of those that, like, is not on the top of my TBR. It's one of those that is, like, closer to the bottom of, like, I want to read it, but I'm in no rush to get around to it. Plus, there's a sequel out, and I've, like, almost is that the right word? I've almost gotten the sequel multiple times, but didn't. Because what if I don't like the first one? I was so excited to be, like, in the know when I picked up this book. And then I still haven't read it. Yikes.
Even I knew it was coming. And that is saying something. It was released this month, and I got it this month, and I'm about it. So the next book that I got is the one that I got in Owl Crate. So if you watched that video, you already know what it is.
I bet you I don't have this one.
That is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I've actually started reading.
I didn't know that's the one that I got this. Oh, I love The Cruel Prince. Yeah, so that's my Owl Crate one that everyone was losing their brains about, and I didn't know it was a thing. And then now I'm, like, obsessed with the series and have gotten the, like, special edition boxes for the sequel and the third one in the series. I love those books. It's one of those that, like, I totally understand all of the flaws and the reasons that people don't like this book, but I do. Oh, that was a good one. Wow, this is a much different haul than I thought it was going to be.
And the rest of the books that I got this month, I got when my roommate and I went to Goodwill and Plato's Closet for our roomie date day, and I just couldn't say no. So, here we go. So, the first one I got is Love Virtually by Daniel.
Oh! So I've read this one, and I hate this one. It's what's the fancy way of calling it? Episcus? It's told in emails. And it follows this woman who accidentally emails the wrong email and then strikes up a correspondence with the guy, but she's married, and then feelings start. And, like, they don't cheat, but they kind of cheat. I don't like books with cheating. I got it because it was a mixed media type of book. And if you've watched my latest video of things that I love, you know that I love mixed media books. So I got it for that. And then once I realized it was cheating, which is one of the things that I hate in books, I was a little iffy. But I finally read it last year sometime. It is no longer in my collection. I have unhauled it because I did not like it. But I decided to give it a chance. And it was just bad. I should have gone with my gut. My gut knew that it was not going to be for me. Did I listen? No. No, I did not.
Next book I got is Slate House by David Mitchell. So, Slate House is basically this iron door that's about down the street.
I remember that book. I don't know why I got it. It didn't even sound interesting to me. Maybe because it had secret societies involved somehow? Yeah, I don't own that anymore, and I never read it, so it's kind of cool cover. I'll give it that. It's got a cool cover.
So the next book I got is, surprise, not fiction. It is Why Not Me by Mindy Kaling. I'm not like a...
Yeah, this is at a time when I didn't read a lot of nonfiction. I definitely didn't read a lot of memoirs, but I was very intrigued by this one, and I have read it. I read it I read it at some point. I very much enjoyed this one. It was just her life, and it was fascinating. I think it's the second. She's got another memoir out that came out before it, and I am curious about that one, so we'll see if I actually read that one. But I did read this one, and it was good. I did like it. It wasn't my favorite memoir I've ever read, but I remember liking it a lot.
The real thing that got me, I think, was the back cover, because it is her heart. I thought that was a really interesting
That was cool. I still own this book too, somewhere.
It also described her at the same time.
I don't know where it is, but I still have it.
This was, again, just a total impulse buy. I am down to my last two. The next one I got is Go Set a Watchman by Harper Lee. This one,
I own this one still as well. I have not read it. I think I just wanted to own a copy to say that I owned a copy, because I did very much enjoy To Kill a Mockingbird when I read it. But, like, I've heard there's so much controversy surrounding this book that... And also, like, the topic doesn't seem really that interesting to me. So I think maybe one day I'll read it, but it's, again, one of those that it's not, like, at the top of my list. It's like I want to read it at some point, but I don't need to read it right away. But I definitely still own that book. But I bought it, so I had a copy. Like, I didn't buy it to read it. I bought it so I would have a copy of it.
The last book on this long, long list of books that I bought is Ready Forever by Judy Blume.
Oh, yeah.
Probably get hate for this.
That's right. So I still own that one. I can't tell myself to get rid of it because I feel like it's a rite of passage.
Used to pre-rinsing our dishes, but every time we
Excuse me.
Everybody.
So that's one that when I went to Y'all Fest my very first year, Patrick Ness was there and he was talking about his newest book, which was released. It was his kind of like version of Forever by Judy Blume, because it was following this couple and it was talking about like having sex for the first time, but he did it for like a gay teen, and so like it was his version of this. And so I was intrigued because I went with cousins, and my cousin couldn't believe that I'd never read Forever by Judy Blume. And I just think it was like a generational thing, because like Judy Blume is a name that I know, but like I never really read her stuff when I was young. That's just like, she wasn't in my wheelhouse. And so I bought it because I felt like I needed to read this book. I needed to understand. And it's a very short book. But I still haven't read it, but I still do own it. And I am hesitant about it because like, it's a small book. It would be a nice thing to pick up if I needed a small book. So I've almost unhauled it multiple times because like, I'm not sure I care anymore, but I do technically still own it, but I'm very iffy on that one. So again, if you've read that one, let me know your thoughts down below. I'm conflicted. But that's it. Those are all the books that I bought my very first month here on YouTube. I did have quite a few in there that I still own, and I read a lot more than I thought I did, but that's it. That's what I've got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed. Tell me your thoughts on some of the books that I no longer have, or that I'm debating on getting rid of, because I would like thoughts. I need other people's opinions. But that's what I have for you guys today. I do hope that you enjoyed. Let's chat down below in the comments. If you did like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe it down below if you want to be part of this awesome growing family. I've also got all my social media down there as well if you want to follow along on any of those. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!